Hello, Clementine. You're fantastic. It's lovely to hear someone else who's as enraged about the way things are as I am. I feel quite enraged often. It's nice to have a justification for that. My question is...
You don't need me to tell you to be justified in your anger, by the way. You are justified in it. You only need yourself to tell you that.
Thank you. You're amazing. Really, yeah.
Sorry, what was your question? I interrupted you.
So my question is, because I live with an anti-feminist and my sister doesn't identify as a feminist, what is your best answer for a woman who says, I'm not a feminist?
Well, I think you have to burn them at the stake, obviously.
Michelle Platini, Jurgen Klinsmann, Didier Deschamps, Iker Casillas, and now a topless feminist has lifted the European Cup. Jana, an activist in the feminist group Femin, peeled down her top, revealing the words, flip Euro 2012. Well, something like that. She then tried to pinch the famous trophy. Luckily, security forces were on hand and couldn't have been quicker to surround her, scuppering her plans. Femin believes Euro 2012, which will run in Ukraine from June 9th to July 1st, will lead to a surge in prostitution in the former Soviet Republic and entrench the country as a sex tourist destination in Europe.
Especially here in New York, Rudy Giuliani, who talked about Black Lives Matter and was very critical about this movement. He went as far as to call this movement racist and anti-American. Do you want to respond to those comments?
Wow, there's so many things to say there. First of all, and by the way, Black Lives Matter and the movement for Black Lives this morning issued a pledge, which I actually tweeted out today, calling for justice, calling for peace, and calling for a togetherness at a moment where we're attempting to be divided. So I think it's really important. That. To say that the Black Lives Matter movement is racist is bizarre to me. Not just because black people don't have the institutional power to be racist or to deploy racism, but because the movement is called for justice. It's called for demilitarization. It's called for nonviolence. And because a few people enter that space and kind of colonize that space and do something other than what the movement is about doesn't mean the movement is wrong. In the same way that Tea Party movement called for fiscal responsibility. But there are racists at the rallies. I've been to some of the Tea Party rallies. There are racists there. But I wouldn't say the Tea Party is a racist movement as such. I would say that there are people who invaded and divert the movement. And that's what's happening here. And to say that it's un-American, there's nothing more American than expressing dissent. There's nothing more American than saying that we're moving in the wrong direction. It's only when black people say the country's moving in the wrong direction that they say it's un-American or go back if you don't love it or leave it. When conservatives in the 80s and the 90s said America's moving in the wrong direction, when the moral majority said we're having a moral failure as a nation, no one said, well, if you don't like it, leave it. They said, okay, we'll try to change it. So now here in America, we say there's a moral failure of police violence. There's a moral failure of police terrorism at times. And there's a moral failure of gun culture for all people. We need to change that.
Do you hate Milo?
Is this for boxers?
Oh no, this is for Daniel Durst on YouTube. Cool. I'm actually a Bernie supporter, funny enough. So like...
I like the camera right now.
So I mean, do you hate Milo?
Consent to film her?
I mean, like, there's this thing called the First Amendment. I mean, much to the chagrin of the feminist left.
You know what the First Amendment?
What does First Amendment say? I'm curious.
It says that I have the right.
Like word for word.
Yeah, no, what does it say?
I mean, the freedom of the press, freedom of religion. No, it's for everyone. It's for citizens.
I'm
just curious. Like, no, like,
you don't know.
I know that, like.
First Amendment. First Amendment.
Well, you're an authoritarian left piece of shit.
You don't know what the First Amendment is.
Yeah, you just don't know what it is.
It protects citizens against laws the government makes to infringe on freedom of religion.
But it also gives me the right to film.
Take back the Constitution you don't know.
No, it actually does allow me to film
Use
people.
the freedom that you don't understand.
No, see, you don't understand, actually, because you know platform speakers you don't like, so you don't understand. So you hate Milo?
Yes.
Can you explain why?
He is racist and bigoted and sexist.
How is he
Don't
racist?
waste your time on this fucker. He doesn't know what the First Amendment is.
How is he racist, though? I'm really curious about
He
that.
said that black people should go back to Africa.
He did not say that. I mean, like, I disagree with most of what the dude says, but he did not say that.
Well, he did, and I'm not going to waste my time on pricks like you.
I'm not a prick, I'm at...
your fucking self.
Oh, come on.
Thinking it's so funny to film all of us.
It's not funny, it's just, I'm checking... It's kind of funny. I'm checking out what's going on. Do you hate Milo?
No, I came late, so I wasn't able to get.
Dude, I disagree with like most of what he says, but I still enjoy him as a speaker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're doing this for attention.
I'm doing this to get the scoop.
Now, you know this because you're a little bitch. We all know.
Do you call me a little bitch? That's very heteronormative of you. That's heteropatriarchal oppression at the hands of the patriarchy. For you to call me a bitch? That's extremely sex negative and heteropatriarchal oppression of the white supremacist capitalist patriarchy.
You learned some words today, dude?
Aren't you like a feminist? Are you a feminist or something? Because like that's very anti-feminist of you to say it, to call me a bitch.
Well, thank you for coming, everyone. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about genitals and gender. And my talk is called Genitals Do Not Equal Gender. Genitals are awesome. They are these delicious parts of our bodies that give us pleasure. You can have lots of fun on your own with your lovely genitals, and you can have lots of fun with other people's lovely genitals. You can put things inside them, and you can put them inside things. You can smoosh them and stroke them and squish them and lick them. Oh, genitals. The person speaking to you owns a cunt. I love cunt. I love my cunt, and I love lots of other cunts. I love the whole concept of cunt, what they look like and taste like and smell like, how they engorge and swell, produce rivers of goo, how they come in so many different shapes and sizes. What I don't love about cunts is that so often society makes an assumption that they only belong to women. Assumptions are made about our gender based on what genitals we have. And the same thing happens the other way around. You see, in most polite forms of society, you meet someone's gender before you meet their genitals. Society takes one look at the person presenting to them and thinks it knows what's in their pants. Well, I have news for you, society. You don't. Being the proud owner of a beautiful cunt does not make me a woman, or a girl, or female, or any other word that describes the gender. In the same vein, being the proud owner of a beautiful cunt, who sometimes has sex with other people who own cunts, does not make me a lesbian. Because nothing so far in the information that you have about these cunt-owning individuals tells you anything about their gender, let alone their orientation. Making that assumption can at best feel uncomfortable and at worst be devastating to those being misgendered or misgenitaled. This is a particularly sensitive issue when exclusive spaces are set up based on gender or genitals. Being the owner of a cunt and going to a cunt-only space is fabulous, but it becomes a whole lot less fabulous if that space then later gets referred to as women's space. For all the cunt-owning not women in attendance, this space has suddenly been denied to them. They might feel invisible or like imposters. Similarly, if you attend a women's space, but it suddenly becomes apparent that by these people's standards you must have a cunt in your pants to qualify, then the cock between your legs means that you're no longer welcome, and the fear of being discovered is not one any of us should be facing. Put simply, a room full of people who own cunts is not a women's space, and a women's space is not necessarily a room full of people who own cunts. These are some simple rules that I think might be able to help us if we start setting up spaces exclusively around gender or genitals. If you set up a space for women, you set up a space for women with all types of genitals, cocks, cunts, anything in between. If you set up a space for men, you set up a space for men with all types of genitals, cocks, cunts, and anything in between. If you set up a space for cunt owners, you set up a space for cunt-owning people of all genders, male, female, and anyone outside of that binary. And if you set up a space for cock owners, you set up a space for cock-owning people of all genders, male, female, anyone outside of that binary. Because genitals do not equal gender.
That's great, right? Do it legally. Right. So look, this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Don't come across the border illegally. Do it legally.
The best value we have in this country. Can I talk? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Because you don't recognize legally.
Look, man, the best value we have in America is the freedom to be who you want to be.
say what you want to say and go where you want to go.
Legally.
We're the land of the free and the home of the brave. That's a good thing.
Legally.
Let's keep it that way, man.
Legally.
Right. You're going to starve our country of the
Legally.
lifeblood of immigration.
Legally.
That's what you're doing.